The following is a Podbeard production.
Explosions make things sound cooler.
Anyway,
Tangents initiated. Don't you bro no more.
In a world where two ordinary gamers team up to fight the forces of boredom, this is their podcast, and this is their story.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hodder,
I'm Kaz.
and we don't do that joke enough on here.
Haha.
And today we're just going to take a page out of the book of No Tangents. And I know that sounds a little crazy coming from me, the tangent. And sorry, going off a tangent there. Stopping myself. We're just going to actually just jump right in. We're going to start reviewing a game here. So, TJ, I would like you to know I finally played the game.
Really?
Yes, I played it. And for all of you out there who knows the game, it's Alien Chronicles First Mage.
It is Alien Chronicles: The First Mage. We talked about a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's really good, except for I don't really understand the way the story began. I feel like they left out a whole first part of like Alien Chronicles First Mage. Plus the graphics were okay for PS2, but it just wasn't.
Wait. It was an N64 game. Like we've talked about this 1,000 times.
No, I'm pretty sure this was Alien Chronicles: The First Mage because you see, like they had like the mage guy in it, and he was fighting that fire demon on the bridge, and there was the little guys with their tiny little dagger swords, and the elf. There was the elf with the bow.
You're literally talking
Legolas.
You're literally talking about Lord of the Rings right now.
No, I'm not. No.
Alien Chronicles was the two. It's the two dudes. You're the dude that started out.
No, Lord of the Rings doesn't have characters' names like Gandalf. Lord of the Rings is much more serious than that. They've got like Dumbledore and Harry and Ron.
You're literally talking about Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings right now. I thought you were being serious.
Wait, what?
You're literally talking about Harry Potter.
I'm so confused. No, I'm talking about Alien Chronicles of First Mage, where you have Gandalf, and he's running across a bridge, and he's all like, "You shall not pass into Alien Chronicles!" And I was like, whoa, okay. And he goes, "I am the first mage."
You were literally talking about Lord of the Rings right now.
And then the little guy's like, "Gandalf, no, you're the first mage of Alien and all the Chronicles." And
it has nothing to do with Alien Chronicles at all.
I
got so excited.
I think you're literally just BSing me right now.
I think you're literally BSing
I'm
everyone.
not.
I think you were literally
Anyways,
BSing
guys,
the
I
world.
give this 17 out of 2, and it's a great game.
Does it get Kaz's seal of approval?
No. I only give that out on really, really good games. Yeah, I recommend you go pick it up. It's for PS2. Like I said, there's some holes in the beginning of the story and the end of the story. The ending doesn't feel really complete, and it really doesn't feel very beginning. Something to do with these towers in it. I don't really know. And
You're literally talking about Lord
great
of the Rings
big
2
fight
towers.
with orcs and
To a T.
your
That's
wizard
literally what you're talking
Gandalf, who dies. Spoiler alert: he comes back, but he's more of like a Jesus wizard when he comes back. So definitely get the game, check it out. It's brand new on the Xbox 2 and the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch version 2.1, and you can check it out on any of those consoles. It's also now coming out for N64 next year, which is a late release, but I believe in it.
It's a late release.
And don't tell me how to podcast.
Oh my god. That was too much. Oh, I thought you were being serious for a minute. All right, so hey everybody, I'm Hodder.
We already did that.
I'm doing it again though.
Well, I'm not.
Okay, well I'm Hodder. I was so excited. I thought you actually played the game for a minute. I got so excited.
No,
So it's
I don't
okay.
have time to play games.
So we've talked about gaming in the first 5 minutes of our podcast, so now we can talk about whatever we want, right? Isn't that how it works?
I don't really care what we talk about.
This
I
is in,
figure
this
as long
is
as
in
we
response.
make pop culture reference to video games, like that's enough.
This is in response to the people out there that think that we don't talk about gaming enough. We
I'd like to
friendly
talk about
give
something
you the
important.
middle finger.
Yeah, I'd like to
It's
talk about
good
something
people.
important that I don't care if it's game related. Rick and Morty got renewed for 70 episodes, baby!
Oh yeah! So that is like the coolest thing in the world right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I was literally like, whoa. Sorry, I just hit my pop filter. I literally was like, I was chilling and I was like kind of having a rough morning. I didn't really feel that great. And I was like, oh, man. It's more like, have a bad day again.
mind. You say you do.
Anyway.
No. Wait, Rick and Morty just got renewed. Oh my God, they got 70 more episodes for the show.
I literally was losing it. Like, I was just like, dude, like, I was so excited. I've been literally wearing Rick and Morty t-shirts, like, since.
Yeah.
And every time I go out, I have a Rick and Morty t-shirt on. Someone was like, yo, 70 more episodes. And I'm like, my boy.
Yeah, man. You know, that's like the great thing about wearing Rick and Morty shirts is you pretty much can get a fist bump at least once every time you go into public.
I was literally at like a poutine festival. I got a poutine. There was a hamburger pickle poutine. Phenomenal. I was wearing my Pickle Rick shirt. And the girl behind the counter was like, can I please take your picture? And I was like, that's okay. It happens to me all the time.
Because I'm Hodder from the Hodder Show. What? No, I just want to take a picture of your shirt because of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, okay.
That's cool.
It's fine. Well, first she calls me over, right? And she's like,
hey, Pickle Rick guy.
well, no, because I went up to the counter and I ordered my hamburger pickle poutine. And
That
then
sounds
she made a
nasty.
comment
That's just
about
my
made a
opinion.
comment about the shirt, right? And she was like, "I'll just put Pickle Rick on the order to yell out for your name." I'm like, "Okay, cool." She was like Pickle Rick, and I was like, "Present." Then she calls me over. She's like, "You can say no if you want." And I'm like, "Oh God." And she was like, "Can I take your picture of you with the poutine?" And I'm like,
In
Yeah.
my bedroom later tonight. Here's my
"While
number.
I stroke your pickle." And I'm like, "What? No,
That's terrible.
No,
Because that pickle would have obviously been spoiled by then. I mean,
obviously,
Ugh.
clearly,
Who would want to stroke a spoiled pickle? Wait, are you talking about? Oh,
That is not right. We don't do this kind of talk here on Two Guys in a Game. I didn't get to do that, so I did it there. Ha! No, but yeah, it was just funny because she was like, "If you want," and I was like, "If you had any idea who I was, like as far as like what I do for a hobby in my life, you would not be asking if it's okay." So then I was like, "Yeah, put it up on social media. I'll share it." And she was like, "Oh, like thank you. Like maybe like you can like show it to some people and we can get a couple new followers." And I'm like, "You'll get some new likes on your page, I promise."
maybe.
I can assure you. And I asked her, "Oh, do you have Twitter?" And she was like, "Actually, we do." And I was like, I guarantee you'll get some followers." Yeah, you got 1,000 followers on Twitter. No big deal. No big deal or anything.
No big deal.
Anyway, so what's new and exciting cast for Jones?
Rick and Morty. 70 new episodes.
Other than Rick and Morty. I mean, that's cool. And like, I'm super hyped about
That's
it.
7 more seasons. That means in
That's
total it'll be
historic.
10 seasons of Rick and Morty. 10 more seasons. It's our Szechuan sauce is the story arc. We still got this many years to go, Morty. You just got 9 more years of Rick and Morty. He literally just sealed the deal on another 9 more years of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's like so sick.
That means when
So
he
excited.
said that at the beginning of the first episode, where he said, "Oh, adventures, Rick and Morty adventures, blah blah blah. We're gonna do 9 years of Rick and Morty adventures." He's now basically locked himself in for 10 years.
Now
of
they're
Rick and
for sure
Morty
doing
adventures.
it.
Yes,
And that's awesome because like what was actually shout out to Sam, who he put up a stash and he was like, "This is like historic." Like he was like, "I don't think this has ever happened in television history."
not even with the Simpsons.
Yeah.
Simpsons has
Well, it
gone
was
month
7,
to month or
yeah.
5 seasons,
Year to
or-
year, season
yeah.
to season. But yeah, 7 years. If they do 10 episodes a season like they have been.
Yeah, and they could up it too now. They could do 20 episodes a season if they wanted to.
Which
because
if they
now
do
have
that, then it's not as historic. But
and
that's if they
it's
do
honestly,
10.
but it still won't be. I don't see why they would have the need to change the format because I mean it works. Leaving like it really is a good business model in a sense because it builds the fan base up. You give them a year and a half or 2 years in between a season, and then you bring out the next season, and the fans are just like, "Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me," and then you get it, and you're just like, "Yes," and then you get to the end of the season, you're like, "No, I want
That's
more."
literally me every single time.
That's literally how me and my buddy were when we watched last episode. We were like, "It's gone. It's not going to come back." And we didn't even have to suffer through the first 2 delayed seasons. We just suffered through 1 delayed season, and now we're going to have to suffer for another one. But now it's kind of nice to know that there might not be any as much delays because they have that confirmation that, hey, we can
well,
literally
that's
just
it right
go,
now. They
okay.
can just go ham and
They can do what
all
Archer
this,
does, like the show Archer, where they release their 10 episodes. Boom, they're done. Then you just know next year around that time you're going to get another 10 episodes of Archer. So
because that's what we want.
that's what all the fans want.
That's what the people want.
But
So
that's Rick. That's
sweet.
Rick and Morty. That's kind of cool. I'm
I
excited.
do, yeah. I do want to talk quickly about the fact that a while ago, actually, now it was earlier this month, I put up a poll. Yeah, and this is cool.
Flagpole?
Yes,
And how's it
waving
doing?
the 2 guys in a game flag.
Oh, two
Which
guys
you
in
can
a
download.
Game-landia.
You can download the flag by going on www.jbridgesalerts.com/2 guys in a game flag. And you can
Show
download
your
it.
2 guys pride by
You can
putting it
give
up.
Jason like $3,000 and then download the flag for free because he deserves your support.
Sorry, Steve.
Gaz is currently playing with my cat.
He's playing the piano. Okay, that's enough.
But I put up a poll asking people which of the 2 t-shirts they would prefer. Either a 2 guys in a game logo, a Tangent King t-shirt, or something else. Out of those 3 options, 86% of people chose the 2 guys in a game logo. Weak.
You mean all of TJ's friends chose a 2 and a guy's game logo?
Actually, there was only 7 votes, and people I know only voted for one thing. Then there was 0% for the Tangent King, which is unfortunate. But it'll still happen one day. And then something else got 14%, which is probably about 1 view.
Have to meow. Come on, meow.
Steve,
Steve,
sounds
be on a
Steve
podcast.
right up to the freaking mic right
Be
now.
on a podcast, Steve. And we don't talk about games on this podcast.
Give me a break.
I'm Steven the cat, and I have one thing to say on this podcast. It is time for some tuna, TJ. Thank you. That is all.
Yeah, so we're gonna go with the 2 guys in the game logo t-shirt at some point. Probably not anytime quite soon. But I want to at least get that poll there to get the general consensus.
Yeah.
And everyone on Instagram, when I put up the poll as well, voted for the logo.
Okay.
So one day we'll do your Tangent King t-shirt. But yeah, I just wanted to
Whatever.
inform everybody.
That was
of
like
that.
a once in a lifetime offer. I don't approve of that shirt now.
No.
Shirt is unapproved.
It is what it is. In other life news, what's new news before we get into some other stuff, what did Cazador Jones think of Infinity Wars?
It was bad. It was real bad.
Really?
It was terrible.
He didn't like it.
No. The only good part of that movie was the superheroes, and other than that, it was bad.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What did Zach think of it?
Oh, I liked it.
Yeah, you liked it?
I thought it was
cool.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I liked it too. I enjoyed
Okay.
it.
Good.
I wasn't ready for it though.
Yeah.
I cried.
You're such a pussy.
I know.
Steve,
I know.
you hear that? He's a pussy.
So they're eating his food. That's cool. Before we get into our gaming news, I do actually want to share a review, so to speak, kind of more of a review synopsis of the podcast. It's kind of hard to explain what it was, but basically, shout outs to Brendan from the Real Rant podcast. We were talking, and he was like, "Dude, I have like the perfect synopsis for your podcast." And I was like, "Okay, cool, shoot." And he sent me a really long one, and I kind of condensed it. So he was like, something like a Rick and Morty brainchild offspring podcast where they go on tangents and talk about games. While they talk about games, but more importantly, they give us who they are in their extravagant personalities. So basically what he's saying is, like, as much as, yeah, we talk about games, the best part of it is our personalities.
So we really should have just changed this to Hodder and Kaz. That's what it should have been called.
Hodder and Kaz's
It
podcast.
should just been called Hodder and Kaz. And then it'll just start off, and we'll just have a really cool theme song. Like, woo, woo, woo.
Hodder and Kaz talk about
Time for a
whatever the fuck
tangent.
they want. Hodder and Kaz's time for a tangent. We're
My
gonna rename
tangent
this.
gun?
We'll rename this podcast. One day it'll be called Time for a Tangent.
That'll be the
That's actually a
sister
great name
podcast.
for a podcast.
That'll be the sister podcast. Time for a tangent.
That'll be Cazador Jones's podcast.
There's time and place for a tangent, and that's now.
Whenever the fuck I feel like it. Oh. And with that, I believe it's now time for some gaming news.
Ready your sphincters, everyone. It's now time for Hodder and Kaz's Sexy News Report.
So, I have to be honest with you guys. This news, I really wanted to share because I read it and I think it's freaking hilarious. And it's what GameSpot.com is considering news. So I just figured, what the hell, I'll share it too.
Yep. So Trump started playing on 64 for the first time. ever.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
That's the news, right?
Yeah. What was he playing? I couldn't find that. What was he playing? You know? Was
You have it right in front of you, though,
was it
TJ. You
Superman?
should know.
Oh, sorry. It was Superman 64.
Superman.
He said it was probably the best game ever made.
Said it reminded him of all of the things he wants to do for America, including build a wall.
Go through gold rings in the sky.
He was just a little
With
mad
clunky
when I
mechanics.
told him that Superman was Mexican.
Yeah, then he denounced Superman 64.
In other news today, there were no survivors.
In other news, there were no survivors. Haha. this is about Fortnite, by the way. Mr. Josh Brolin, who, for those of you who are not familiar with him, he
am
plays
familiar
Thanos.
with him. He is also Cable in Deadpool.
Yes, I was about to say
right?
that too. He's
And he's
playing
also in
Cable.
Men in Black 3. And he's in other movies too.
He's in a bunch of other movies. Great actor.
Yep.
He
Son of
has
James
responded. Yes, he has responded to the dancing Thanos in Fortnite. Quote, "I don't understand." For those of you who are not familiar with it, Thanos from the Infinity Wars, he has come to Fortnite. You can play him right now as a part of the limited time game mode called Infinity Gauntlet. The actor who plays him, Josh Brolin, he's basically just like, he didn't know what it was. So he had no idea that there was going to be a crossover involvement. He told IGN, "I've been seeing this Fortnite thing everywhere. Fortnite, Thanos, and I had no idea what anybody was talking about." He provided voice lines for it, but like for Thanos, but he didn't provide any voice lines or anything for Fortnite. So they just pulled it from the movie, I guess, is kind of what
okay.
they were doing. And he was just, and I quote, "Why is he dancing? I don't understand. I don't know if I like it." However, he did say that he confirmed that he would have rather have done the motion capture work for him for the dance moves. "I wish I had done the mocap for that." Yeah.
That's hilarious. That would have been great. Because I
Yeah.
know I'd want to do the dance moves for Cazador Jones
In
in
a
a
video
character
game, if
in
he
a
was
video
dancing.
game. Yeah. It
I
wouldn't be
think that
good
would be a lot of
dancing,
fun.
but it would be fun.
Well, that's it, right? Like, it's just like, I didn't know that, because when I started seeing this Thanos thing pop up, I was kind of like, so I don't get it. And like, I see like, oh, he's like super overpowered and everything. And I'm like, well, duh.
Yeah.
Like, he has all the Infinity Stones. Like, of course he's going to be overpowered, you idiots. But like, yeah, when I saw that gaming, because I was looking up gaming news and there was nothing really too exciting. And then I saw like Josh Brolin responds to dancing Thanos. I don't understand. I was like, that's Cazador Jones and Hodder worthy gaming news right there.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, it is fully. Because do we actually even have any relevant gaming news on this podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have in the past.
do.
This is pretty relevant.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump playing N64.
Yeah, that was
Pretty
relevant
relevant too. Yeah, that's a good gaming news segment there, Kaz. Boom. We just fist bumped.
Yeah, and our fist bumps like cause the air to like get sucked out of a room. It creates a vacuum whenever we fist bump.
Yes. We're like the mega powers. Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. You know, when we shake hands, the world just like explodes with awesomeness. So, Kaz, what are you playing this week?
Sorry, I had to bring the vacuum back in. I was about to run out of air. I have been playing this game called Agatha Knife.
Agatha Knife.
Yes.
Not Knight. Knife.
Knife, yes. Very, very peculiar little game. I was bored one night and I was sitting there on my Nintendo Switch and I was like, oh, I need something to play. And so I went to the eShop and I was like, oh, there's nothing to play except for like lots of platformers. And if I were a platformer player, I would totally enjoy all these games. Maybe I should start platforming. And then I saw this game and
there's a joke in there somewhere.
and then I was just like, you know, I saw this one game called Agatha Knife, and I went in, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And it's kind of got like a Scribblenauts animation design to it. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I'll read the description. She's like, yeah, you're Agatha Knife. You're a 5-year-old butcher who kills animals for her mother's butcher shop.
Jesus.
And I was like, okay, I can get into
5-year-old
this. I can
butcher.
get into this. And so I'm just like, yeah, you know what? That's a pretty good description. So it's only like, was like $12 or $13 or whatever. So I buy it, start it up. It's actually a computer-based game. Based off of like a Steam game, so it uses the mouse controls still, but they've kind of adapted some controller aspects into
I
it.
hear you.
So yeah, so it starts off, and just very interestingly, you start off going to church with your mom, which I was like, whoa, okay, this got heavy real quick. I'm like,
So you're
crazy.
a butcher that like.
so
okay,
yeah, so your mom's going to church. She drags you along, blah blah blah. She's praying to make sure her butcher shop can stay open so she can pay bills and everything, and you start to find out about what religion is as a 5-year-old girl, and you completely get the wrong idea of what religion is, except for you get the right idea of what religion is in a sense. So in a way, they basically have dumbed down what religion does to people and how it can manipulate people. So you go to a church for the cheese lord, the cheese time lord, who can basically make anything good happen as long as you give cheese to this lord, whatever.
So that's their religion.
That's the basic religion.
The
What
cheese
happens
time
is
lord, okay.
Agatha's like not getting it. She's like, yeah, I don't understand. So she wanders away and goes into another like a cathedral of an actual religion or whatever they call it, like an ancient religion that actually like has survived for thousands of years, meaning like Christianity or whatever.
Yeah.
And she goes in and she starts talking to this other guy. This other guy's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I want to make my own religion and blah, 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 because I need a way for my animals not to feel scared when I'm about to kill them. And I want them to feel good about when they're dying. And so,
Jesus.
So she starts this religion. And this guy helps her, who's just like, yeah, I'll help you do all this religious stuff, blah, blah. So you're basically, the whole game is you setting up a religion to make sure that animals feel more secure about dying in a butcher shop, so they know that they're going to a better place after they die. And they do all this like witchcraft, and it's just crazy. And it's just this mental roller coaster ride, and like trying to convince animals. And like she has to make her own, basically her own Bible. But she soaks it in pig's blood, and just all this mental stuff going on.
Jesus.
And it's a really good game though. It touches base.
So like it's just like literally it's like a kind of like a point and click kind of deal.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's like you collect items, you just like, it's basically just like a story driven game, and but it's very much in the sense of it's smart. Like it shows people who don't really understand what religion is. It gives them a different perspective on how religions are formed.
As far as like kind of the almost like the darker
it's
side
almost
of it,
it's almost
like,
ridiculous. Like it's just like all of it's just ridiculous. Like when someone makes a religion up, it's just like, yeah, well, here's my God, and you have to believe in it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, how do we know your God's real? Well, here, I'll give you some alcohol and drug you, and then I'll make something that looks like the God.
Oh my God.
And then you'll believe that the God's there, and then they believe the God's there, and then they go in, and the rest of the people are like, how do we know that the God's real? And this one animal's like, oh yeah, the God is totally real. I saw it. Yeah, kill me, woo, and everything. And you're just like, what the hell? Like religion's so messed up. But really, all she's doing it for is she just wants to save her mom's butcher shop in the end, and just make sure
it's childhood innocence, but it also
she doesn't realize what she's doing. But she creates this whole religion called carnivorism, and
Jesus.
Yeah,
that's like probably the darkest game we've ever talked about on this podcast.
It's pretty good though. I liked it. I
wanna
really
play
like the
it now.
messages because and it's not even just about religion. Like she'll go up and she'll be talking to other adults, and other adults will be like, "Yeah, you can't do that." She's like, "Why?" And the adult's like, "Well, because you're just not. That's just not the right way to do it." And like, she's like, "You're stupid. I don't like talking to you." And she'll just turn her away. And like, there's like one of the most intricate parts of the game is she's trying to sell meat to one of the burger vendors in her town, but they won't buy it because they're getting their meat cheaper from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And you find out she's getting it from the vet, and the vet is killing dogs, like putting dogs down and chopping them up into meat and selling it to like the whole community. And so Agatha gets all pissed off and goes like, "You can't sell dogs." And he's like, and the vet's like, "Why not? It's not like anybody cares." And then you go into this restaurant, and this guy's eating this huge, like it's called the doggy death burger and everything. And it's like this foot-long burger. It looks so messed up. And he's eating it at one scene, and then you come back later and he's dead because he overdosed on like this, like on dog meat.
Jesus. Is that even a
so
thing?
Great, but yeah, she like shuts down, like she calls the cops and everything, gets like the vet shut down, and just like, yeah, but there's so much stuff going on in the game where you're just like, this little girl literally is just innocent. She's just trying to make her life easier and in the way she knows how. But yeah, very interesting game.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds dark as shit too. Like that's
it is. It has a
up.
very dark, twisted way to it, but it's
Talking
also like
about religion. And
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Literally. Jesus.
There's a lot of dark stuff in there. But it's a good game.
Sounds
It's an eye-opener game.
I want to
so.
play it now. That sounds
I think it's available on all consoles. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can get it on every console. So
I'm gonna have to look it up. So that sounds very interesting.
mm-hmm. It's worth it. Anything new and exciting with you?
Well, aside from the fact of the game that we're going to be kind of talking about today,
Yep.
in a little bit, I also have been playing the new God of War game, which I feel like we're going to go a little more in depth to next week.
Hod of War.
Hod of War. Hod of Kaz.
Hod of War.
Hod of War. we're going to talk about a little more in depth next week because
if it were named after me, it'd be called Kaz of Door.
That's funnier.
Yeah.
I'll be the kid, and you can be you can be Kratos. Go Kazdos.
Or
Kaz of Door.
Kazos.
That's actually fucking hilarious. Kaz of Door.
Kaz
Come,
of Door.
boy.
Come harder.
Come harder. Come, weed whacker. But I've been playing that, and I've been really like, it's amazing. But I want you to play it a little bit more before because like you like were watching me play it the other day, but like you weren't really. So I want you to play it a little bit before we like actually like we'll do like a full review next week of it.
Yeah.
But I've been playing that. I also actually the other day when you were over, we were playing Melee, which is always fun. But
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Yes, always a blasty blast, especially when you kick my ass at it.
No, it wasn't a blast this time around though.
Well, we were playing against level 9.
We were having fun, me having fun kicking your ass constantly and you losing. And then you were like, no, you know what? I want to be on team with you. And I was like, oh, don't be such a child. Let's just keep fighting each other until you get good enough to actually beat me. And you're just like, no, let's just put NPCs on level 9. I'm like,
for some reason, they kept kicking our asses.
well, that's because you don't put Mario and Peach on a team together.
Well, I learned that because they like work off each other so well. I was like, what the hell is happening right now?
Yeah, we were getting butt raped.
It was
literally
bad.
that was the definition of butt raping.
It was bad. It was really bad. But afterwards, after you left, I was playing because I was like, I kind of want to play GameCube. So I ended up busting out a game that I used to play all the time, and it's kind of like a top-down hack and slash. But well, do you know the Baldur's Gate series? Really?
I do not
I'm
know
surprised
that,
about that.
no.
I figured you would.
Nope.
Baldur's Gate, basically, it's been a big series of mostly computer games.
Okay.
But this game is called Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Okay.
And essentially all it is you are either a human archer, a dwarven warrior, or an elven mage. No surprises there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going into the city of Baldur's Gate, and you end up getting jumped by, like, some thugs, quote unquote. At least you think they're thugs at first. Spoiler alert. And they take all your shit. So you're like, oh, I need to track them down. Ooh. So then you go into the local tavern, and the chick with the big knockers is always like, I'm gonna help you, and we're gonna go over here, and you need to go do this for me first, but first you need to clean out some rats from the sewer. Oh, look at my titties. Oh, like it's brutal. But it's a really fun game. Like especially
You said this is top down, right?
but like when you go into the conversations, it's front view.
Oh.
So yeah, it's not. Yeah, I realized how funny that was.
See, I made it funny.
Kaz made a funny. I'm going to go ahead and mark this real quick because this is a
historic
joyous
moment.
occasion. Kaz actually made a joke. That was funny. But yeah, like it's just like a really fun basic hack and slash game. Like you find upgradable equipment and stuff like that. Like it's nothing special necessarily.
All right.
But like I don't know. I was playing it and I was like, this is so much fun and it's so simple and it's fun to play with people because you can have up to 3 characters playing at once, obviously, because there's only 3.
That's cute.
And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I had so much fun, and I'm like, man, like these top-down games, like they don't really exist anymore.
No.
It's kind of like Diablo
Okay. Yeah.
in that style.
They
in the
exist,
sense
but they're
of,
just
like,
not as popular as they used to be.
Like it's just
see what
like
you're saying.
I wish there was more of them because I feel like those games are very overlooked.
Yeah,
As
they
far
are.
as like they're such fun
But
games.
it's because it's mainly because those games don't really work on the consoles as much as they need to work on a computer. Those are computer games that just like they started off as computer games. They really need to stay as computer games. You know, that'd be like if they brought StarCraft over to like the Xbox. You'd be like, why?
It didn't work. They did it with StarCraft 64 and it didn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't
People
work.
were like,
right?
nah, B.
Nah, you need it. Those games are computer games, and that's the reason for them is they're so big. You need that like computer power to be able to click wherever you need.
Yeah.
You just need that one click button, not like a whole bunch of different controls. Because I had Diablo 3 for the Xbox One, and I was just like, it wasn't bad. It was just really, really tough to play with the way it was designed. And I was like, I couldn't get into it. So it's definitely computer style games.
Well, that's it, right? Like, and with this, like the way they do it is instead of having like the point and click to move, like you just control your person. So it works really well, and it's a lot of fun. And the story's actually quite good, and the combat's great for hack and slash, and like it's really fun, really immersive game. I forgot how good it was. And I really want to play it with you at some point because I feel like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yep. That'd be
We
good.
should do that.
And then we played Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, we played Rogue Squadron. I kicked your ass
No, you didn't.
in a dogfight.
No, you didn't kick my ass.
Well, first we tried to play through the campaign and we failed miserably.
We didn't fail. I just missed the shot and then smashed into the Death Star, and the game was
We're
over.
trying to do the Death Star trench.
I didn't
run.
realize that the trench ended at some point. I thought
Well,
you were
also
gonna
you
get
didn't
it.
realize you couldn't go up. Like you had to stay in the trench.
Yeah.
So you went up and you were immediately destroyed. And you did it. You did that once, and then you crashed into a wall, and then you like went ahead of me somehow, and then you just like smashed into the end of the trench.
And then
I
it was like game over.
I was like,
And
really?
I was like, how is that game over? But all the other times I died wasn't game over.
Because you only had 3 lives.
Oh,
That makes sense. You're smart.
okay then. Yeah, and then we played hide and seek. I was hiding, TJ was seeking, and I won every round of hide and seek.
Yeah, I wasn't actually playing. I'm just him alone playing that in my house.
I was Millennium Falcon. No, I mean like.
Oh, you mean in the game? Oh, yeah. So yeah, we were doing the dogfight mode, and you were the Millennium Falcon. I was a Jedi Starfighter. What
I just kept hiding in the buildings. Not very well, but
I mean, I could see you clearly. I just couldn't catch you.
yeah,
was
because
like-
I was so fast. I was
Well,
like,
no, the Jedi Starfighter is 10 times faster, but that's the problem. I'm too fast.
you're too fast. If
kept
you
going
tried to come
past
into
you.
the buildings, you would just. And then we did another one where we tried to take on Star Destroyers.
Well, no, we were still doing a dogfight, but we were
No. We were just trying to take on Star Destroyers. Okay.
in
No,
Starfighters,
no. Just yeah. I was in an A wing,
which has like horrible shields,
which
and
was
I was in a
perfect for
B-wing,
what I needed it for. It was like, pew pew.
kamikazing and stuff.
It's not kamikazing if you consider accidental crashing. Okay,
Fair
kamikazing
enough.
means you're intentionally crashing. I was not intentionally crashing into things. I was accidentally crashing into things.
Aha! It's not. Well, no, kamikazing is when you sacrifice yourself for the greater good too.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that at all.
You were just.
I was just accidentally crashing into spaceships. Is what I was saying.
But we
I'm a very
did
selfish
it though.
person.
We completed our mission because we did destroy the shield generators.
I guess.
So we win
The Star Destroyers. It said there was a draw at the end of it. So
because neither of us kill each other.
that's not how it works when you're trying to take out the Empire. You don't kill each other.
You have to fight the Empire. Damn it! But yeah, so that was fun. What? Anything else you've been playing this week? Anything else exciting? Nope. Just that. Nope.
Okay, guys, so we're going to take a quick second to give a much needed shout out to our good friend, Mr. Jason Reese from Jaybird Digital Arts. Whether you guys need t-shirts, logos, business cards, phone manipulation, custom art, anything like that, Jason is your guy.
You've seen our logo. You've seen how awesome it is. Hit him up today by going to www.jaybirddigitalarts.com. That is JAYBIRD digitalarts.com. Go there right now.
Right now, guys, just pause the podcast.
Jaybird Digital Arts.
Digital Arts.
Let's talk about your game.
Yay! So, if you guys follow us on the social media, which we hope you do, and we hope that you guys have subscribed to us right now, check out all our past shows, all 24 episodes. Check us on the social media, Two Guys in the Game on Facebook, Two Guys in the Game on the Instagram, and Two Guys AA Game on the Twitter. If you guys follow us on the Instagram, or you're able to see like the show picture for this podcast, and you see a picture of myself and Kaz in our cartoon formats, looking somewhat scared, on a picture of the Emily Wants to Play 2 crew, all of them. And let's just say that I made a terrible mistake by buying this game.
Why?
Because, let me explain why. So, for those of you who don't know me,
TJ's a big baby.
I'm a pussy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
The big version of the New Year baby, but in real life form. And if you slap a diaper on him, he will shit himself.
I will. I totally would. I don't even care.
I don't care. I'm not changing myself. I'm a baby.
Well, see, but the thing is, do I have to change myself?
No.
If I do, then I wouldn't. No, but basically, I'm like, I have a very hyperactive imagination. That's how I explain it. So, like,
Hyperactive hyperdrive.
so like, if I'm watching a scary movie and something happens,
Yeah.
when I go to sleep that night, I'm going to think about it. And I'm going to dream about it. And most people are like, oh, just grow up. Stop being a pussy. And I'm like, I wish I could. I can't. It's not my fault. So I avoid
Shit, stop making excuses, Hodder.
horror movies and games and stuff like that at all costs. But we played the original Emily Wants to Play Sam and I, and she really enjoyed it. And she beat it. And I was like, okay, Emily Wants to Play 2. We talked about it before on the pod a few episodes ago, but how it's like so much scary and everything. And I was like, how much worse can it really be?
And that's all the time we have for today, folks.
That's it. I'm not even want to talk about it. No, but so give you like a quick synopsis of the game. Emily Wants to Play 2 takes place in a much different location. You're actually in like an office building. It's actually like a police station, but it's like the evidence area and like the desk work area. It's not like the actual like, there's like a warehouse and everything, and like it's basically like an evidence lockup essentially.
Okay.
And you play as a sandwich delivery guy who has no connection to the original story at all, even remotely. The only connection is Emily and her dolls. So basically, you could start off the game in your apartment and you have to do all this stuff, but like there's all this weird shit going on.
Okay.
And basically, there's not really going to be any spoilers per se. It's just me basically talking about a little bit about the story, so I kind of have to spoil a few things. So I guess spoiler alert. I guess if you're into that kind of thing, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So you start off in like your apartment, and then you have to do these tasks in order to leave. And basically, if you don't do them, the dolls kill you. And
Okay.
so I'm like, it's already starting. But then I basically realized that you were having a nightmare.
Oh, okay.
But the fucked up part is when you wake up, there's still like the dolls are still around. Like you still see them out of the corner of your eye.
That's creepy.
So basically, from the moment the game starts, it's building this games like Five Nights at Freddy's, games like Emily Wants to Play. The number one complaint people who are really into horror games and horror movies have about them is there's no like atmospheric horror or fear. It's like they rely too much on jump scares, basically.
Yeah.
And I get what they're saying about that. I truly do.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Wants to Play 2, in my opinion, has completely gotten rid of that. I felt immediately afraid and in danger at all times in this game.
Yeah.
There was not one moment where I felt safe in this game at all. I still don't. Like, we're still playing. I don't feel safe at all at any moment. Mm-hmm. Whereas Emily Wants to Play, I genuinely felt safe most of the time because I knew what was going to happen.
Okay.
Whereas in this, it's like, nah, not even a moment.
Man, nah.
Like, even in your apartment, like, you're in your apartment.
Yeah.
And you can still die. Like, there's stuff happening. I'm just like, yo, this is supposed to be my home. And, like, I don't feel right at all. But so basically, you go to work, you go to deliver your sandwiches, you get locked in this evidence station. And, of course, the first doll that you see, because the dolls like doing these, like, weird rituals, and like, all this weird shit. And you walk in and you basically see Chester doing this, like, ritual. And his head's, like, turning around.
That's weird.
And then he, like, turns and looks at you and goes, ha! And he disappears. And then you start the game. And aside from the classic dolls that were in the first Emily Wants to Play, which are, of course, Kiki, Mr. Tatters, the clown, and then Chester, who is the mannequin. Not the mannequin, sorry, the...
ventriloquist doll.
Yeah, the ventriloquist doll, yes. Yes, thank you, Cass. And then Kiki is, like, a really scary-looking, pale, black-haired doll. And then, obviously, Emily herself. I'll get to her in a minute. So aside from those three dolls, you now have three more being added to the equation because 3 freaky as shit dolls isn't enough. So let's add 3 more.
Never enough.
So we have Greta, who is a small doll. She's one of those like mama dolls, whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
Only problem is her eyes were burnt out in the fire. So she's blind. So she stumbles around whenever she shows up. She stumbles around walking into stuff and goes, mama, mama. And it's freaking horrifying the first time you meet her because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's just, mama. And like you can't avoid her because usually you either hide or you have to do certain things. So I didn't know what to do. And you can't fight. There's no combat or anything. So like I just walked into her and then she immediately killed me. And her death thing is horrifying because her like face jumps up at you and she has no eyes. So it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's deaf, so basically you just have to avoid her and whatever. Then we have the Mannequin Man, who you don't like. He's your least favorite.
No, I don't like the idea.
I don't like him. Basically, he's a mannequin, but he's like a big, tall mannequin in like a suit.
Yeah, so he's not really a doll, but he's a mannequin, a full-grown mannequin.
Yeah. Like he's just a mannequin dude. When he walks, he squeaks, and you don't know he's there because the level you have to like basically fight him in is in the dark. Pretty much that's literally
like.
to
It's
a
like
T.
terrifying.
Yeah, you fight him in this like warehouse where you can't. Basically, as long as you have your back to a wall and you can shine your flashlight on him, you're good. By the way, that's how you like fight him off. But you're in this like warehouse that's pitch black. There's boxes everywhere. There's crates everywhere, and you basically can't have your back to anything, and you have to find this little key card in the dark on his level, and he is freaking terrifying because you can't run from him. He'll catch you.
Yep.
And you hear him go, then he jumps at you. And the worst part of that level is also you have to tend with Kiki, who her thing is you have to stand still and stare at her. And she goes away eventually. So if you're standing and staring at her, he can come up behind you. And you hear him. And fucking, whatever he does. He's terrifying.
Yes.
But to me... the one that literally has like given me nightmares I can't do it. I can't deal with him. He's too much for me. Is the Jack in the Box, who literally looks like basically a jester without a hat. He has the same face and everything, but he's super tall. He's like probably like 6'5", and he's terrifying because when when he's like coming to kill you, you hear. And like it speeds up, so you have to find his Jack in the Box and turn it off, or else he'll go "Bring," and he'll kill you. And his death scene is terrifying because he's a clown basically.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm just like, okay, this is terrifying. Like this whole thing is terrifying. The first few levels are horrifying, and then at the end of the 11th hour, because in the old Emily Wants to Play, you go from I think it's midnight to 5 a.m.
Okay. Yep.
So there's 5 hours you have to get through, which are hard, but they're like doable.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, you go from, oh God, I think it's 8 p.m. to like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Like there's like 12 hours, something like that. And like we got to like the first couple hours, like they were not hard, but they definitely weren't easy. The Mannequin Man level was 11 and it was pretty hard. Then you have to go turn on the power. So you go turn on the power and you're like, haha, I'm going to beat these dolls. And you're walking and all of a sudden, bang, fucking vent goes flying. Out comes Emily.
No.
And she instantly kills you. And I'm like, oh. And like the way she looked in the old game, she was horrifying looking.
Yeah.
But like this, it's like next level.
Yeah.
So basically she comes through vents, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, great. That's great. So you have to basically run from her. And then the next level you have to do is Chester's level. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the original Emily Wants to Play, the 3 original ones, Kiki's pretty easy. You just have to stare at her. Mr. Tatters plays red light, green light. So you just have to stand there and wait for him to go. He disappears. He's pretty easy. But Chester likes to play tag. So you have to play tag with a ventriloquist doll. And if he catches you, you fucking die. And he's terrifying because he goes, as he chases you. And it's absolutely terrifying. So in this, I was like, I wonder what they're going to do with them. And they all seem the same except for Chester. Because Chester, in his level, you have to have a marathon with him. He chases you for an hour. And you have to outrun him. But the problem is with it, this is the level we're stuck on. This is 1 a.m., by the way. The problem is instead of just like having to run straight from him, you have to go through the level, like the doors and everything, and like around the corridors. And if you stop for just a second, he'll kill you. But then every once in a while, he'll be like, ha! And he'll disappear. So then you'll be walking thinking he's still behind, and all of a sudden he'll pop up in front of you and kill you instantly. And it's just too much. It's too much. I don't want to deal with it. It's too much. The level before that, you have to play hide and seek with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. You play hide and seek in the dark with the dolls. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. You know? And they're not trying to kill you. They're just hanging out. And they're like, oh, hello, ho, ho. And it's like, okay, you know. Hell, I found Tatters, and he was like, ho, ho, ho. And I was like, you're not even scary. You're just a clown whose head turns around. You're not even scary, you little bastard. But yeah, so it's absolutely terrifying. Now we're stuck on it. And it's hard. Like, it is a hard game because the whole premise of the game is like there's no like combat. You can't defend yourself.
Right.
And I know that the next level after the one we're on, we have to find the Jack in the Box in like all the rooms in the level. So like it's just ridiculous. There's so many rooms. The level is so much bigger. Atmospherically, like I was saying, like it's very dark, but like there's a lot of shadows.
Yeah.
So like because there are like emergency lights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's either pitch black in the room you're in, or there's emergency lights. So like you'll be walking else in the shadow will go like past you. You're like, what the hell was that? And then like you'll find stuff in the game, like all the notes and stuff that were in the original one. This one has them, but it's like they're from like cops.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, bag Mr. Tatters. And then there'll be a note underneath, like from Mr. Tatters, basically, like, you know, saying some fucked up stuff. And then like the whiteboards, they always write notes on it. And like, oh, it's so messed up.
Yeah.
It's so much scarier that like I can't even stress that enough, guys. Like if you haven't played the first one, I definitely recommend you go play the first one. Yeah. You can get it for pretty cheap now. Especially if you're a computer player. Usually on Steam, it's usually on sale. But this one, Emily Wants to Play 2, I highly, highly, highly recommend it because it is a lot of fun. Even though I'm a pussy and I don't like games like that, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. it's just a matter of like you didn't really get to play it, but you were kind of like watching. It's one of those games where like you don't really need to play it per se to enjoy it.
No,
It's just scary.
it was terrifying.
It really was. But like mechanically, it's still a good game.
The
It's
puzzles in it are insane to me. Like
Yeah.
whoever comes up with those is very either like sadistic or genius.
Well, like in your apartment, there's a couple puzzles you have to do to leave, and if you try to complete them without knowing what you're doing, you will just instantly die.
Yeah.
Like luckily when I did that, I had Sam with me, so like she knew what to do, and I was like, okay, that's not so bad. But like,
That's not so bad. Thank you for being here, Sam. I would have died.
I would have
several
died if not for you. Actually, funny thing, I do have a video of Sam completing 12 a.m. by herself. Like she just did it.
Yeah.
And there's no voiceover or anything, so I was thinking about doing voiceover work. I think it'd be funny.
Okay, yeah.
But we'll maybe do that. I don't know. I'll see about that. You guys let me know if you'd like to see that, because it is like it's entertaining game to watch. Like I'm not usually someone who likes to watch people play games.
Yeah.
But like this game is really fun to watch. Cause it's scary. And like the whole time you're in the game, like you can go, excuse me, like with the Chester level, for example, he spawns randomly.
Yeah.
So it's not like every other one so far you have to go to a certain spot to find them. It goes to Chester. You have a 12-minute time limit each round. And I went 10 minutes before I found him. I just walked. I couldn't find him. I went to every single room. He would not spawn. And then finally, and I was like, really? Now? Little asshole. So like literally that round ended before I even could finish it. So I'm like, that's kind of cheap, but like it's hard. It's just like, it's a hard game. They put a lot of thought into the story. And like, I almost feel more sympathetic for the dude in this one, because in the other one, the pizza delivery guy goes into the house.
Yeah.
It's like boarded up. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, the guy's going into an office building to deliver sandwiches.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem, and like you can see out the door and you can see your Jeep sitting there, with the lights on. So you're like, oh my God, like it's right there, but you can't get out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's terrifying. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. It's horrifying. I cannot stress that enough.
So go do it.
Just
is what we're
go
saying.
do
Go
it.
Scare yourself.
Oh,
shitless.
Punky. You have a dog named Brandon.
We
Says
have
the
a producer named Brian.
You have a producer named Brandon. Which, by the way, I forgot to thank him earlier because he delivered me this wonderful microphone I'm currently using.
It's okay. I've seen better.
Brand new
Try again.
Sennheiser. And now you're using my old mic. It's better
Wait,
than the
what?
one you
I'm
were
using your old mic?
It's the one. It's better than the one you were using.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You sound a lot cleaner. At least I think, anyway.
My girlfriend said when she left me, she said her new mic.
Oh, my new mic's so much better.
I'm gonna go now because this new mic's easier to blow on. I miss my old mic.
Oh God, it's still here. You can still use it.
No, it's okay. I'm good.
The
new
magic mic.
The new one's nicer.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. We'll get you one of these.
You can't tell, but I'm rubbing the tip.
He's actually fully rubbing the tip, and you can totally hear it. By the way,
Shh.
just the tip.
Just the tip. What? Just the tip?
Justin's tip. What?
No.
Haha. So yeah, MMO Play 2. A lot of fun. Any other points you want to make here today, Kaz? Before we do.
Well,
our
as
shoutouts?
we're wrapping up, before we get to shoutouts, I just want to tell everybody that I'm getting a new car, so
Yay!
you're all welcome for that. I don't know what you get out of it, but I have a new car. So.
What you get is that Kaz now will have better gas mileage, which means that he can save his money a little bit more on gas, so that he can then
spend it on his car payments,
and more video games.
No more video games. No, I have to renounce myself from Two Guys in a Game. Goodbye.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
If there's no Kaz Jones, there's no Two Guys in a Game.
And if there's no Two Guys in a Game, then we just have Kazir Jones and TJ Hodder.
We just have what did I say earlier? The name of the podcast should be
Something with tangents or something. Like
God damn it, I already forget. I'm gonna go back and listen to it. It's like the perfect name for a podcast. It was like Nothing But Tangents or something. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I thought of the best name, and I was like, yo, that's gonna be our sister podcast.
Yeah.
Pardon the Tangent or something like that. I don't fucking know. Something like that.
Mind the tangents.
Mind the Tangents. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it because I don't remember what it was. Let me know if you guys think that's funny, because that'll be a lot of fun. Could be funny. Anyway, I believe it's now time for some shoutouts.
Shoutouts initiating.
So I have like a shitload of shoutouts today. So do you have any shoutouts before I go?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. No, I'm not gonna be shout.
So I would like to shout out, first and foremost, our good friends over at the Still Loading Podcast, Drinks with Larry. Josh from Still Loading Podcast always does right by us, is always a big supporter. So thank you very much for that, my man. Appreciate it. We're giving you the heart on the hand, pound from Castor Jones. Shout out to the Drinks with Larry crew, entertaining as hell podcast. Definitely check them out if you enjoy funny banter, and they talk about movies, they talk about games sometimes, talk about a whole bunch of stuff.
They talk about drinks.
Really fun podcast. Yeah, this is Larry. Okay. Talk about like eating popcorn and like they're just always entertaining as hell. Always very entertaining.
Good.
Want to give a shout out to the Amazing Nerd Show, Christian and Damon. Thank you guys very much for all your support. They actually just most recently they were doing some talks on Infinity War, as well as they do a tons of wrestling talk. They just talked about Backlash. Lots of good stuff. So if you're into gaming, nerd culture, wrestling, movies, check them out because they're a great podcast. I want to give a shout out to our new friends over at the Real Rant Podcast, as they have been supporting us. And the one host, Brendan, I know has been checking out the show because he's the one who I've been talking with. He was the one who gave us that kind of review earlier.
Oh, okay.
And I said he has a much longer, better one.
Yeah.
He says I'll try and talk about it on the pod if he has time. So thank you, man. We appreciate that very much. I want to give a shout out to the Brocast, One Giant Leap for Geeks, the Karaoke Biggie Podcast, Mr. Bumwine Bob, Bumping Uglies, Jake and Tom Conquer the World, EMZT Radio, and Productions. All those podcasts, basically, they retweet us all the time. Mm-hmm. They always like our stuff. So thank you guys very much for the support. Especially, actually, Mr. Bumwine Bob. He's someone who I've had somewhat of a working podcast relationship with for a while with my other stuff. And he always goes out of his way to make sure he retweets our stuff and likes it. So thank you very much for that, my man. Appreciate it. Shout out to the Podbeard Network, I guess. Screw that Hodder guy.
Fuck Kaz.
Fuck Kaz. The Heel, Ryan Wood at Mikes and Beers. Good podcast. Should be a new episode of that coming out actually hopefully tomorrow. So that should be a lot of fun. Wednesday. It's gonna be fun. You'll enjoy the episode. You really will. I promise you'll enjoy it.
We'll see.
It's me and Brandon and then Ryan. So it's just ridiculous.
We'll see.
And there's some stories that I tell and stuff I talk about that you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe that came out of your mouth on a podcast. It's quite bad.
Oh my God, I can't believe TJ didn't swear 4 more times in that podcast.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's actually quite funny.
All right, I'll listen to this one.
I'll watch it. Yes. I'll listen to it. Ugh. Yeah, but and then also, of course, want to give a shout out to the Honestly Lazy Show. They are doing a bit of some formatting changes, I think. Hopefully, they will be back soon, though.
It's always good to change your format.
Yeah, they're just kind of doing some changes. I think they're kind of going to be doing some more kind of fun, gamey stuff. I think they're going to be playing games and stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
You mean they're going to be
not playing video games?
A gaming podcast?
No,
Wait a minute.
Hey,
that's
our thing.
That's our show. We came up with it first.
Hey, man.
Don't make me bring Brooklyn Kaz back here.
We're the gaming podcast that barely talks about gaming over here, motherfucker.
That's our thing. Well, we just want to make up for what you dropped the ball on. What are you talking about? We're actually going to talk about games on our podcast. Oh,
that's boring.
I see.
Who wants to do
Who
that?
wants to listen to someone talk about? So today, my walkthrough of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time Part 29. Gonna go into the Forest Temple.
The podcast walkthrough. That'd be the most boring thing in the entire world.
It'd be like listening to an audiobook.
Basically. So I like that
and
stuff.
Then you're gonna go in here and there's gonna oh my God.
I'm so sorry.
Skull Tool drop down. Totally scared shit on me. It's okay. All right.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Look at this giant Deku. This Deku scrub. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I want to give a shout out, of course, to our gaming brothers in arms, Mr. Martin Perez, Mr. Prog Rocker, and Mr. Dark Runner. Prog actually is going to be taking a little bit of a leave of absence from the YouTubing world. Actually, he's just kind of dealing with some real life shit right now, and he's going to be coming back with I think he's gonna do a bunch of videos in a row, or he's gonna record a bunch in a row. We're gonna be doing some more Minecraft stuff and things like that. So very much looking forward to that. Dark Runner's kind of doing his thing, still playing some StarCraft and some Final Fantasy. I think he's gonna be looking at some different content coming soon too, so that's cool. And then Mr. Martin Perez still doing the streaming thing. Check him out. We, of course, also want to give a shout out to all of you. Thank you very, very much for tuning in and listening to today's episode of Two Guys in a Game. Hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that you hit that subscribe button, follow us on all the social medias. Of course, we have the Facebook and the Instagram under Two Guys in a Game podcast, and we also have the Twitter, Two Guys AA Game. Kaz, you can follow him as well on Instagram.
And if I die tomorrow, I hope my children are listening to this. This is all I leave you is my voice over the past 25 episodes. So I hope you can enjoy this. Your mother was probably a hot redhead. I'm just assuming. That's just from what I've gathered. And yeah, so I love you, children. And if I didn't have any children, then I love my wife. Unless, of course, you left me, then I love myself. And that's probably not even true either. So I love no one.
Oh, that would be a funny last thought. So yeah, I've been Hodder.
And I've been your father.
And I have been your father. And I'm Uncle Hodder. Uncle Uncle Hottie. Uncle TJ. I don't know anymore.
You're going to be Uncle T.
Sweet. I'm like Mr. T, but like an uncle.
Uncle T, get your kids off me.
They're also throwing them. You're like, what have we talked about?
What have we talked about? Only throw them if there is a ramp and a plumber is going to jump over them in a barrel-like sense. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw the Simpsons clip. One more thing, I promise. I saw the Simpsons clip the other day, and it was a guy outside of a video game store, and it was like meet Donkey Kong in person.
Okay.
It was like an old like gorilla sitting there smoking. He was like, he's like, "Hey, Donkey Kong, guess you're just not a draw anymore." Goes to walk away, and Donkey Kong throws a barrel at him, and he's like, "Hey, he's still got it." I don't know why it's not that. Anyway, so this has been the episode for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time on Two Guys in a Game.
Cancelled.
Bye, everybody.